Cooper, can you just talk about what this moment is like to have your family and friends here and on the eve of the biggest moment of your career?
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible to be here, be in these moments. This is stuff I've dreamed about since I was a little kid. So, I think being here is surreal. I don't think it's really, set in yet or anything, but I'm just trying to go through each moment and just enjoy it.
What was the moment for you, like, the ping pong ball, that's what they did, and you knew, hey, I'm going to Dallas?
I mean, for me, it's just about being grateful. I'm grateful for every opportunity I've been given. So no matter the outcome, no matter what would have happened, no matter what happens tomorrow night, for me, it's just about being grateful and just really enjoying the moment.
There's a lot of talk about joining Dallas. You won't just, you're not joining a team that's rebuilding. You're joining a team that wants to make the playoffs. There's a lot of talent. You obviously have the Luka trade. You have Anthony Davis. You have Kyrie Irving. What's it like if they pick you to join a team with that much NBA talent already around it?
Yeah, I think, like you said, a situation that is able to win. Be on a team surrounded by a ton of incredible players and people that have had careers like they've had. I think it'll be a really great experience if that does happen.
Cooper, talk about your main roots and just coming from there, being able to represent that state and how that's built you into the man and player you are today.
Yeah, I think being able to come from Maine, like, it is such a big part of me and who I am today. I carry that with me, and I carry a lot of pride in that. And sending that message that it doesn't matter where you're from and that sort of thing. So just proving to the kids in Maine, and even bigger than that, kids from anywhere around the world, that it doesn't matter as long as you believe in yourself and you work hard.
Cooper, the Mavs told you they're going to take you number one, and have you had any conversations with guys from Duke like Lively and Kyrie?
No, I haven't had that conversation at all. So, I'm just, going through this process like everybody else. I do my workout, and so I'm just going to see what happens tomorrow night.
What was that
No, I have not had that conversation, no.
Cooper, what was the workout like in Dallas, and what was your interactions with their staff?
Yeah, I think it was an incredible visit for me, and workout to be able to go down there and see all the facilities and stuff, and to get in the gym, and I got a good hour and 15 workout in. A bunch of rebounders, staff, coaches, player development guys, got in and were guarding me. So to get some live reads and stuff, I think it was really, really good to see. And then I got to see some of the players work out after, and some of the guys in the team work out and kind of what they do. So that was pretty cool.
Cool question over here.
Playing against guys that are going to be future Hall of Famers. What did that experience do for you? How different are you as a player now than you were last year?
Can you repeat that again?
Yeah, almost a year ago you were playing against guys who are going to be future Hall of Famers. How did that experience kind of shape you, and what's the difference between
Yeah, I think that experience of being able to go to the USA thing on the select team was, was priceless for me. It's such a good learning experience for me to go there, learn from everybody. It's a ton of Hall of Fame players, so I think I just took that as a huge learning experience, and I tried to learn as much as I could. And I think now it's just that confidence I got from playing with them. I know I can, play my game and be who I am, and I think I've gotten a lot better since then too. So I'm just excited to be in this environment and be able to just do what I do.
Cooper, do you remember where you were when Luka got traded and what your reaction was? Because obviously that was huge NBA news.
Yeah, I remember being with all my guys. I think it might have been the night that we played UNC at home, and we won that game, and so we were all kind of hanging out together. And I remember my teammate Darren Harris. He was the first one to see the Shams post, and we just all started going crazy. Like, it was just such a shock. Like, it was crazy news.
Hey, Cooper, I got a question. Being from Maine, do you like lobster?
Lobster isn't my personal favorite. But a good Maine lobster roll. My trainer's wife makes a really nice lobster roll. I think is really good.
Good. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
What do you think of Liam McNeely?
What do I think of Liam McNeely? He's all right. Nah, Liam's great. I miss playing with him a lot. He's one of the best players I've ever played with. So I miss playing with him. Yeah, it's crazy. I think having the 4 guys from Montverde, including me, so my 3 teammates from there, and then even my teammates from Duke. I have 7 people I know in the green room personally, and I've played with. So I think it's incredible, to go through this experience with them. Like last night, I'm hanging out with Kamal, just talking to him about his whole experience and all the workouts he went through and stuff, and just catching up. So it's been incredible to have guys I can lean on and really spend some time with during this whole process.
Cooper, you talked about this
Yeah, I think it's it's part of that brotherhood. It's part of the path you see, and it's kind of that's something that drew me to Duke. And watching Paulo, watching Tatum, like their paths, going through college, dominating, and then going on to the next level and having success as well. So I think that's part of the brotherhood. That's part of the attraction of Duke is the way they're able to develop guys and get to the next level.
Cooper, you talked about the Lucas.
I mean, Coach Shire was incredible for me. He's with me every step of the way through my recruitment, and then moving on to the whole year of just trusting me, and we had a great relationship. I mean, he's just been such a resource for me of reaching out to different people and setting me up and connecting me with a lot of really great people.
Have you seen your Barclays yet and just seeing
At Barclays?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. What is the billboard?
what the New Balance?
Oh, the New Balance one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Just what it's like.
Yeah, the one at the New Balance store is incredible. I did see that yesterday. I mean, it was incredible. I got to go over there and do like a little meet and greet with a bunch of kids and stuff. That's the sort of thing that I love to do. It's just so much fun to be able to see, joy on a bunch of kids' face and see people get excited and that sort of thing. So that was a really cool experience and environment for me to go to and have a good time.
Cooper, you talked about the trade.
Overall pick. Just describe the emotions you're feeling as you're going through this process.
Yeah, I mean, it's surreal. That's the word I would use to describe how I'm feeling. I don't know if it's all set in yet and whatnot, but I'm just trying to enjoy it. Take it one day at a time and really just soak it all in.
Well, with the young Cooper who's kind of crisscrossing Maine in a minivan, maybe watching Boston Celtics DVDs, what would you have thought to be in this position right now, considering how much you had to prove yourself early in your career?
Yeah, I don't know what he would say. I don't know if he would believe it. I don't know if he would, think I was lying. But I mean, it's just so crazy. It all happened so fast. Like, it never really became real for me until 2 years ago when I got to Montverde was when it really started to become a real thing for me. So I think, it's just such a surreal feeling seeing where I came from and what I've been able to do.
Cooper, you talked about the Luka trade.
About your versatile skill set, but also your maturity, your basketball IQ, and also your student team. Just where does that stem from? And you're only 18, but you carry yourself like you're mature.
I mean, I think just trying to grow up fast. I left home to go to Montverde when I was 15 years old. So just trying to grow up fast. I feel like IQ-wise on the court, like I've always had like a knack for that sort of thing and just making reads at a high level. But I think just trying to grow up as fast as I can, and I have a really tight circle of people around me and that influence me in my decisions, and I think that's what's helped me just be mature and just stay grounded.
Being a two-way player, how do you feel about potentially joining a team that's trying to build a defensive identity?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me that's always been a huge part of my game and who I am, is just being a two-way guy, and no matter where I end up or where I go, that's going to be my mindset of just bringing a two-way threat all the time.
Both said you want to be a future star. Do you feel motivational?
Can you say that again?
People say you are NBA future star, so you feel like more like a motivation, or you feel like
it's definitely a lot of motivation. There's a little bit of pressure. I feel like that comes with that, and you get all the media, and people having opinions on you and your life and everything about you. It's definitely tough, but I think for me it's a lot of motivation. Hearing people say good things, even bad things. Hearing people talk about you is a good thing no matter what. So. I'm excited about everything, and just trying to soak it in.
Cooper, you talked about the Luka trade. You talked about the Luka trade a couple of minutes ago. That's a Dallas fan base that when that happened was in and then they won the draft lottery, and people started thinking about the possibility of him coming to town. That's bringing a lot of those fans back into the crowd. What would your message be to the city of Dallas about how appreciative you are, maybe of how excited they are for you, and just in general, your message for Mavs fans on what to expect from you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not on social media too much, and I think, like I said earlier, I'm just trying to take it one day at a time. So if that is the case tomorrow, that ends up happening. I mean, I've heard it's an incredible fan base with incredible support, so I'll be excited to learn more about it and get down there.
Cooper, some people would say there's pressure following Luka in Dallas. If it does go that direction, would you look at it that way as being something like you got to step into his shoes as a franchise player, or would you look at it differently?
I wouldn't look at anything as pressure. I think, me going into whatever situation I go into, I'm just going to try and be myself all the time, and I'm going to push myself to be better and better every single day, and make the most out of every day. I'm not worried about living up to certain players' expectations or things like that. I'm just going to be myself and really just try and get better every single day that I can.
Cooper, what would it mean to you if the entire Duke starting five gets drafted?
I mean, that would be incredible. That's what I'm hoping to see happen over the next couple of days, and I think that would be incredible. I think everybody deserves it. The five of us, obviously Kaman and Khan, we'll hear their names called tomorrow night. But as far as Tyrese and Sion, I think they've helped themselves a lot through this whole process, and more than the outside and the public sees, I think they have a really good chance of hearing their names called and joining the team.
Cooper, how does the way it ended with Duke getting so close to the national championship falling short, is that going to stick with you? I mean, how do you process it now a couple months later?
Yeah, I mean, you have to take your wins in stride and you have to take your losses, in the same stride. So it's just, going through everything, you got to learn how to deal with losses and learn from it. So, I'm just going to always remember it, obviously, of, having that letdown and, loss ending the way it did. But it's not something that, I'm going to, hold over my head and continue to, be completely worried about. But it's something that I'm going to just, use to grow from and learn from for the rest of my life, for sure.
Can you talk about what Matt McKenzie has meant to you since a young age to now?
Yeah, Matt McKenzie, that's my basketball trainer. So, man, he's been with me since I was in 4th grade. Just, skill development, stuff like that. And he knows my game really well. So he's been with me every step of the way. Was on my AU coaching staff. And he's really just helping get me to who I am. I wouldn't be the player I am without him. So I think having a guy like that has been with me for such a long time is such a privilege for me to have somebody that's been so committed to me.
When people refer to you as a prodigy or a generational talent, how do you think about that? How do you respond to that?
I think kind of like I said earlier about expectations, and I don't hold myself to other people's expectations or what people want to see about from me or what they say. So for me, I'm going to play to my expectation of myself, and that's just being as good as I can and trying to impact the game in as many ways on every given play. So I'm just trying to be an impact player on the court, and I'm just trying to get better every single day.
Cooper, it seems like it's a yearly occurrence that Montverde players are getting drafted. What is it about the program, talent here, the competition on a daily basis? What is it about it that makes this almost a yearly occurrence?
I mean, I think Coach Boyle brought in some pretty good talent. I think that's where it starts. So he had some pretty good players and that sort of thing. But I think also they had a good system of preparing guys for the next level, getting guys ready for college so that guys are ready to go in right away and have an impact.
Cooper, you have a chance to be the youngest #1 pick since LeBron. Why was it a priority for you to get into this class, and sort of when did you have a plan to be in the 25 class rather than 26?
I think it's like a quote my mom likes to say a lot. If you're the best player in the gym, then you need to find a new gym. So for me, it was about thinking about what I had left to do in high school and how much that would push me to become a better player. So for me, that decision wasn't too hard. After going undefeated with that team, it was before that. So I kind of knew that we were gonna have a really, really good team, and then the next year would kind of be a fall off of the competition and things like that. So I kind of just made that decision based on that. I felt like it was time for me to kind of get to a new environment and push myself to higher levels and to really just get in a new environment and be surrounded by really great players.
Cooper, what did you like about the New Balance shoe? What was that process like?
Yeah, I mean, I think the connection with New Balance is deeper than just the product and the look and things like that. I think it's as deep as the culture that they have in their company and brand and the family culture and oriented way that they operate. I think having connections to New England and factories in Maine and those ties are really important to me, as well as the shoe looking really nice and just really loving the product that they have. The name of what shoe? I don't have a shoe, so I'll wear a bunch of different models. The Hezzy Lows, the two-ways, probably wear some Kawhis. I've been wearing and I like a bunch of different shoes, but I don't have a personal shoe.
In your visit to Dallas, what's something you learned about the organization?
I mean, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about the people down there. I learned a lot about the facilities. I learned a lot about the guys. I was able to have dinner with some of the guys. on the team. So I mean, that was just a really good experience. It was a great learning trip.
What's one celebrity you want to see on your first NBA game courtside?
That's a good question. I don't know if you count Larry Bird as a celebrity, but that would be really cool.
Any rapper?
No, I don't have a favorite rapper.
What did you like so much when you were a kid about Bird and his game? And just the way
I think just the things he was about, the way he played so hard in every possession, the way he, was diving on the floor, doing all the little things. That's kind of just the way I modeled my game when I was younger, and that sort of stuff. So I think that's kind of why I play the way I am, and I have to give credit to that of just modeling myself after him and the way he was able to play and the things he was able to do.
Cooper, there's a lot of draft parties in Maine for tomorrow night. If you could say something to the people back home.
Yeah, I mean, I'm blessed, to have such a supportive, state and people back home that support me so much. So I'm just truly blessed, and I'm grateful for everybody that's going to show up to the parties and celebrating my name.
How do you want to score your first NBA bucket?
Maybe dunking on somebody. I feel like that would be pretty cool. Come on, watch my former teammate. I feel like that would be pretty cool.
You mentioned Cooper, guys. Two more.
Houston trading for Kevin Durant. Dallas got the number one pick. So Victor Wembanyama. What do you make of the Texas basketball scene and getting a chance to be a part of that?
Yeah, if I'm lucky enough to get a chance to be in Texas, I think some incredible teams, some really good teams. Looking at next year, so I think it's amazing.
Cooper, what do you think will be going through your mind? What are you thinking about as the commissioner calls it and you're walking up there? I mean, it's been a journey for you.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to go through my mind. My mind will probably be racing, going 100 miles an hour. I'll probably be thinking about every little thing. But I'm going to try my best to slow down, enjoy the moment, and just soak it all in.
Cooper, you've been the guy that's been described as positionless. How do you view yourself position-wise at the next level? And is there any part of you that
Yeah, I think positionless is a great way to put it. I'll do whatever coach wants me to do. I'll play any role. So for me, it's about just doing a ton of different things on the court. I think, like I said earlier, just being an impact player. Impacting both sides of the ball at a high level and impacting winning at a high level. So whether that's getting it off the off the rim on a rebound and pushing in transition, that's something I feel like I can do at a high level. So I would love to do that. Or if it's playing off ball, cutting, slashing, spotting up. I'm ready to do whatever that may be.